While tourists flock to places like Traverse City and Harbor Springs, they are totally missing Charlevoix, the only place on earth that has magical mushroom houses that look like they belong in a fairy tale. Most travel guides treat Charlevoix as just a quick stop, but this hidden town has something none of its neighbors can claim. The perfect position between two lakes, which allows you to enjoy the sunrise in one lake and the sunset in another lake without ever moving your car. My name is Gino D'Angelo, and I'm a local Northern Michigan real estate agent, and I've helped over 600 families either move into or out of in Northern Michigan. And I'm constantly surprised by how people overlook one of the most underrated areas in Northern Michigan. Charlevoix sits on what real estate experts call the most perfect geographic position in Northern Michigan. A narrow strip of land with Lake Michigan to the west and Lake Charlevoix to the east. The unique location creates three advantages that you won't find anywhere else in this region. A natural microclimate, which keeps Charlevoix about 5 to 10 degrees warmer during the wintertime and much cooler during the summer heat waves. Number 2 is access to both a Great Lake and a very popular inland lake. And these 2 points are only about a 5-mile walk apart, and the cleanest beaches in Northern Michigan thanks to the natural current of the Pine River. Most visitors have no idea that this perfect positioning is the reason that Charlevoix properties have appreciated at 27%. This is much more than the neighboring communities have over the past decade. Downtown Charlevoix connects these two incredible bodies of water through a channel that has become the focal point of the downtown area. During the summer, the iconic drawbridge opens and closes about 30 times per day. This allows both sailboats and yachts to go from Lake Michigan into Round Lake and then into Lake Charlevoix. Now, I'll be honest, if you live here, you have to sometimes time your commute over the bridge opening and closing. And as an insider tip, it can totally disrupt your day if you time it wrong. Just south of downtown, we've got Boulder Park, home to the famous mushroom houses, and Lake Charlevoix stretching 17 miles inland with protected coves and wide open water views. Lake Charlevoix gives you the best of both worlds, consistent protected waters for boating and water sports with Great Lake access when you want it. This is something that I think makes Charlevoix truly special. You can own a house on Round Lake or Lake Charlevoix and have your boat in your backyard just steps from your home, allowing you to traverse the world and seek any destination that your heart could possibly desire. Another thing that I absolutely love about Charlevoix's location is just how close you are in proximity to all of the destinations in Northern Michigan that you're going to want to experience. Traverse City is just about an hour away. Petoskey is just about 20 minutes away. And if you want to ski at Boyne Mountain, in just 25 minutes, you'll be getting out of your car and heading to the hills. Here's something that most people get completely wrong about Northern Michigan. They assume that Northern Michigan completely closes down after Labor Day. And I'm here to tell you that is simply not true. Charlevoix completely breaks this pattern with year-round amenities that most seasonal communities cannot match. While places like Harbor Springs get a little bit quieter in the winter, Charlevoix transforms into a 4-season playground. And a lot of this is centered around Mount McSaba. Mount McSaba is a local secret ski hill that offers high-quality skiing at a fifth of the price at some of the larger area ski resorts. I have a lot of friends who actually learned how to ski at Mount McSaba. But before I get into it, if this type of content is your thing and you want to stay in touch with what is going on in Northern Michigan, as well as upcoming events and hidden gems, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss a video. It helps our channel grow, and it would mean the world to me if you would hit the subscribe button right now. So Mount McSaba is a 200-foot recreational area that turns into one of the most underrated places to ski in Northern Michigan in the wintertime. Of course, everybody knows about the Highlands, Boyne Mountain, or even Nubs Knob, but a lot of people don't even know that Mount McSaba exists. Now, Mount McSaba isn't nearly as big as the larger ski resorts. In fact, it only has 5 runs, but they do offer night skiing. In the summer, those slopes turn into some of the best hiking hills in the area with panoramic views of Lake Michigan at the top. Proximity to Mount McSaba actually affects the price of a home in Charlevoix, but we'll get into that more in a minute. Downtown Charlevoix definitely punches above its weight with only 2,500 year-round residents. Bridge Street features independently owned shops, restaurants, and even an art gallery. And something that surprises people is you will find 0 chain stores located on Bridge Street in Charlevoix. East Park along the channel hosts countless events every year for the community to get together and celebrate everything Charlevoix has to offer. From weekly summer concerts to the iconic Venetian Festival. And if you've never experienced the Venetian Fest, you're going to want to check out the boat parade and the fireworks. For outdoor enthusiasts, the Little Travers Wheelway actually connects Charlevoix to Harbor Springs. This is a 26-mile path each way, which gives you a ton of options to ride your bike, take a jog, or even go for a walk. Charlevoix's absolute crown jewel are the mushroom houses. In fact, these mushroom houses don't exist anywhere else on planet Earth. Imagine hobbit houses built by a northern Michigan visionary. These architectural masterpieces were created by Earl Young, a self-taught architect who hand-selected massive boulders from the local shoreline. He used these to build structures that look like they grew directly from the soil in Charlevoix. When one of these rare homes sold for $2.2 million last year, it didn't just make the local news, but it was captured nationally. In fact, Architectural Digest called it one of the most unique properties in the country. The mushroom houses are mainly located at Boulder Park, with their organic flowing designs, curved roof lines, and massive stone fireplaces. Earl Young designed each of these homes to perfectly blend with the natural landscape of Charlevoix. In fact, the wavy roof lines are meant to mimic the waves you see on Lake Michigan. And what surprises people is not just the way they look, but how unique of a living experience it is to live in one of them. With commanding views, incredible stonework, and a connection to nature that most modern architecture can only dream about. Beyond the amenities, let me reveal to you the real reason a lot of people choose Charlevoix over the neighboring communities. While towns like Harbor Springs and Bay Harbor feel like seasonal resorts, Charlevoix does a great job of giving you the 4 seasons experience in northern Michigan. Summer brings tons of energy, countless community events, and breathtaking views of the water. Winter shows a completely different side of Charlevoix, where everything slows down and people enjoy hanging out in their houses and the winter activities that northern Michigan has to offer. A lot of locals like to hit up Mount McSaba or do a little ice fishing on one of the lakes. Not to mention the snowmobile trails that connect to hundreds of miles of local snowmobile trails. For families on the move, Charlevoix Public Schools offer a small town educational experience. In fact, there are only about 800 students across all grade levels. Charlevoix schools consistently perform above the state average on localized tests. Healthcare is available through the Charlevoix Hospital, which is part of the Munson healthcare systems. Charlevoix residents also have access to bigger healthcare systems just a short drive away in both Traverse City and Petoskey. I often say you can tell a lot about an area by the type of people that relocate there. If you see a lot of families relocating to an area, that means they likely have quality schools. If you see a lot of retirees relocating to an area, that means the town probably has high quality healthcare. And that is something Charlevoix has in spades. Charlevoix has great schools mixed with quality healthcare and also access to more specialized healthcare just a short drive away. And downtown Charlevoix has all the essentials. They've got grocery, hardware, and even a drugstore. But if you want more extensive shopping, again, you're gonna have to travel a short distance to either Traverse City or Petoskey. And let me tell you, that makes for a very fun day trip. Now let's talk about what you're probably wondering. What does it actually cost to live in Charlevoix? Unlike Bay Harbor, with 92% of their population being summer homes, and Harbor Springs with 78% of their population being summer homes, Charlevoix has a much more balanced 55-45 split between year-round and seasonal residents. Here's exactly what your money buys you in each distinct micro market in Charlevoix. Large houses downtown that you can walk to both Lake Michigan and Lake Charlevoix command a premium price. Some of these houses do have smaller square footage, but they make up for it in the location and proximity to everything Charlevoix has to offer. If you want to be downtown Charlevoix, plan on spending anywhere from $450,000 to $2 million. The Boulder Park neighborhood, where you'll find the highest concentration of those mushroom houses we spoke about a minute ago, ranges anywhere from $750,000 to $3 million. This is definitely the sweet spot of living in downtown Charlevoix, and a lot of these houses have commanding water views. Waterfront properties on Lake Charlevoix actually make up a significant portion of the Charlevoix real estate market, and these properties have a wide range in value. If you find a fixer-upper or even a teardown on Lake Charlevoix, you could plan to spend around $800,000. And depending on the quality of the waterfront, the size of the lot, and the depth of the water in front of the home, these houses can go up anywhere to $10 million and sometimes even more. This is because there are people that like large estates that they can park their large boat in the backyard and use their home on Lake Charlevoix as their home base while they boat around the world. The south arm of Lake Charlevoix, which connects to all the boating amenities that we spoke about earlier, tends to have better values. That way you can save a little bit of money while still accessing everything that Lake Charlevoix has to offer. For buyers who want to live in Charlevoix but get more bang for their buck, I often tell them to begin their search outside of downtown Charlevoix in some of the further out townships. One thing that I think is really interesting about Charlevoix is a lot of people know it for the mushroom houses or the large houses on Lake Charlevoix, or even the large houses with great water views downtown. But they also have a ton of houses that are out in the country with a little bit more privacy and oftentimes even larger lots. Charlevoix can be very expensive, but at the same time, if you look further enough out, you can find houses for $400,000, $350,000, and sometimes even less. Yes, those houses may be a little bit smaller, and yes, they may need some work, but if that is your thing, you can find a tremendous value by being just a few minutes outside of downtown Charlevoix. Also, I get a lot of questions about short-term rentals in Charlevoix, and there is a permit process. If you are interested in buying a house that you plan to short-term rent in Charlevoix, I would tell you to get on the wait list as long as possible. If you are looking to purchase a home that you plan to rent out seasonally in Charlevoix, I would tell you to get on the wait list as soon as possible. I recently sold a house to somebody who plans to rent it out short term, and they entered their name on the wait list as soon as they closed on the property. And it took them about 6 months to get their license, but now they're good to go and rent out their home completely legally. If you're considering buying a home in Charlevoix and you want more inside information on the area, please reach out to me directly at 231-487-6141. There's a lot more to Charlevoix than meets the eye, and I would love to tell you, as somebody who's lived in Northern Michigan their whole life, exactly what you need to know before you consider purchasing a home in Charlevoix. And if after watching this video, you'd like to learn more about Charlevoix or anywhere else in Northern Michigan, please reach out to me directly, and I'd love to help you. See you on the next one.